Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has attended day one of the APEC summit in Peru, where he met US President Joe Biden. He also faced questions about Australia's relationship with China ahead of an anticipated meeting with China's President Xi Jinping. Political editor Andrew Clennell is in Lima. Andrew, great to see you. How do we know what was discussed at all?
Hello, Janie. Well, he won't say what he discussed with President Biden, actually, but it's interesting that they did manage to have a chat, Anthony Albanese and Joe Biden, when so much of this summit and the G20 coming up in Brazil is about Donald Trump, essentially. And it's almost Australia and the world versus Donald Trump on issues like tariffs and climate change. Not that that will make any difference to the Trump approach, but the Prime Minister confirming that he had words with the outgoing US President.
President Biden was in good form, and we had a discussion. I don't talk about the detail of private discussions, as you'd be aware, but it was friendly. I regard him as a good friend personally, but also a good friend of Australia. But he was upbeat. He was pleased to be here at APEC. He is, of course, continuing to work in the interests of the United States.
Anthony Albanese attending day one of the APEC summit, and a curious article appeared in the China Daily. President Xi didn't even show up today, by the way, but he's due to meet Joe Biden tomorrow. But this article, which is basically from the Chinese propaganda sheet, that paper, it's a Chinese government mouthpiece, is saying that other countries should look at the way that Australia has managed China in recent years and look to that conciliatory mode the Albanese government have been involved with. So, of course, Anthony Albanese at his press conference a short time ago was asked about this. He was at pains to say, look, we have re-established relations with China. They are so important from a trade point of view, but our alliance is very much with the US, no matter who's in power.
I don't subscribe to the China Daily. I can confirm that. I've seen some of the reports of it. But we stand up for Australia's national interest. And can I make this point as well? That the improvement in trade between Australia and China is about Australian jobs.
Some good news actually for Peter Dutton at this summit, Janie. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, was in a forum on stage massively talking up nuclear energy. This is something that Dutton could pick up on. He was saying, we're going to export our nuclear power, we're going to massively grow it. This is something that I want to promote to APEC nations.
We're now upgrading the CANDUs to Monarchs, that is a more modern full-scale reactor, but we're also developing small modular reactors that we know is going to be a huge key to the path forward. Canada's actually got the first small modular reactors about to come online in the coming year as demonstrating a proof of concept. Lots of places are working on them, but that's going to be an essential part of the energy mix that we have to have if we're going to meet the opportunities, not even the needs, the opportunities of the coming years.
And this time tomorrow, Janie, the Prime Minister will be on a plane to Rio de Janeiro for the G20 summit, where it's widely anticipated he'll have his third bilateral meeting with Chinese President Xi. Should be an interesting discussion.
Yes, it should be indeed. Thank you so much, Andrew. We'll touch base with you again soon.